Good morning, dear students. Last week I have given you the notes of assignment number 1, and now we'll try to understand how this assignment is going to work. Now, this is the screen of assignment number 1, and there are 8 command buttons. This is command number 7 and this is command number 8. Now let me double click. It will take me to this code window, and we know that the command for clear is CLS and the command for exit is END. So I have written both command 7 and 8, and I know that you know this. So now we will go to command number 1. Now here let us look into command number 1. There is a variable I and I am running a for loop. This for loop I is the counter. This I is the counter. Clear? Now this counter is running from 1 to 10. It means this loop is going to run 10 times, and each time it is printing the value of I. When I is 1, it will print 1. When I is 2, it will print 2. Right? So let us just run it and see how it works. Click it. It gives me 1 to 10. It's coming too small, so let me increase the font of the form so that it will be clearly visible to you what is coming on the screen. Now let us run it and see what will come. It comes 1 to 10. But if you look into this screen, here I am asking you to print from 1 to n, where n is a variable and I have not given any value for n. From where this value will come? This value will come from this text box. Okay, so let me go back to the screen. Let me introduce a variable n%, enter. The value of this n, as I already told, will come from the text box. So n is equal to val text 1. Okay, so the value of n will come from here, and just let me, instead of this 10, let me write here n. Okay, now let's see how this program will work. So suppose I am putting 5 here. So now the value of n becomes 5. So when I run it, it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I make it 7, it will give 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me clear it and show you. When I make it 7, it will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So whatever number you are putting here, till that number it will print. So if I write here 10, it will print from 1 to 10 because the value of n will become 10. Now it is 7, so the value of n is 7. It is printing from 1 to 7. Okay, so let me exit and go back to the screen. Now if you look into the question says I have to not only print natural numbers from 1 to n, but I should also find its total. Is it clear? I have to find the total as well. Now this is important. You should listen carefully how to find the total. Now let me write, let me say this, what variable I have used. Okay, for finding total I have used a variable sum. Okay, now let me write here sum. Sum is same as total. So I have declared a new variable sum and percent. Now see, sum, when I declare a variable sum, VB automatically gives a value 0 to it. So sum is automatically 0, but for more understanding I am explicitly writing sum is equal to 0. So the first value of sum is 0. Now how to find out the sum of all n natural numbers? Okay, the code for that is you have to write sum is equal to sum plus I. Okay, and after the loop is over you have to print the result. So I'll write print sum is equal to this SUM. Okay, now what is happening here, children? Now suppose the value of n is 5. So this loop will run from 1 to 5. Since n is 5, PB will substitute 5 in place of n. So the first value of I is 1. Sum is equal to sum plus I. The value of sum is initially 0. Now 1 will be added to 0. So the value of sum now becomes 1. Next I means the counter will become 2. Let's go back to the for loop, print the value 2 and add 2 to sum. So let me run this code and show it to you. Click it, come here, let me write 3 here. See what will happen. It will print number from 1, 2 and 3 because I wrote 3 here, so it will print 1, 2 and 3, 1 to n, 1 to 3 it will print, and then it also calculated the sum which came 6. See, 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 is 6, so the sum is 6. It is coming correct. Now how it will work? For that I'll show you something. Let me print, let me stop this program and let me print the value of sum here so that you will know that at each step how it is working. Sum, SUM, and here I will write final sum because this is the final value of sum. Clear? Now let me run it and see how it works. Suppose I am writing 5 here. See what is happening. Initially the value of sum is 0. So when 1 gets printed, the sum is 1. When 2 gets printed, we know that 2 plus 1 is 3. So I got 3 here. After that I will become 3. 3 plus 3 will give me 6. 4 plus 6 gives me 10. 5 plus 10 gives me 15. So the final sum comes as 15. So let us go back to the code and check there. See, the first value of I is 1. So it will print 1 and add 1 to sum. Okay. That's why we got sum as 1. Next the next value of I becomes 2. Let's go back to this for loop. It will print 2 and add 2 to 1. So I get the value as 3 and 3 gets printed. After that the value of I becomes 3. Go back to the for loop. It will print 3, add 3 to sum. The previous value of sum was 3. Now it becomes 6. So it will print 6, right? Next value of I is 4. Go back to the for loop, print 4, add 4 to 6, so I get 10. Next value of I is 5. Go back to the for loop, print 5, add 5 to 10 and I get 15 as result. Next value of I, now this time the value of I becomes 6. It will go back to the for loop, but we know that 6 is not in 1 to 5. So the loop will stop and it will print the final result. Is that clear? So run it again and see. Suppose I am writing 7. So see, the sum is 28. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. And 21 plus 7 is 28. So we are getting the result as 28. Is it clear? So this is how it works. Now let me remove it and just run it and see. So 7, the result is, it prints value from 1 to 7 and it prints the result as 28. Okay, now this was command 1. Now let us do the rest of the commands. Command 2, command 3, command 4. I hope you remember this. When I click this, the first and the second line comes by, last line comes by itself. So I got this private sub, all I got till 6. Now earlier command 1 was printing from 1 to n. Here it is n to 1. It's a reverse. So I just have to copy this code from here to here. Let me remove this final thing. Here, from here to here I am copying, right, and I am pasting. Control V is for paste. Now if you look carefully, children, here I have to just change, instead of 1 to n, I just have to write from n to 1. Okay, and will it work? Let me check if it work. I'm putting here 5. It's not printing the numbers. I should get it from 5432 and it's not printing. What is the problem? It's just printing sum is equal to 0. It means this part of the program is not working. It means the for loop is not working. The reason is, see children, when we are printing from 1 to n, each time the counter was increasing by 1. There was no need of writing step, but in all other cases it is mandatory to write step. Since I am going in a reverse order, I'll be writing step minus 1. Okay, rest the code remains the same. Print the value of I, and each time you have to add the value of I to sum. Now let's see if it works. Click it, come here, let me write it 5. Click this, it gives the result. Click this, it gives the result. See, here it is printing from 1 to 5, here it is printing from 5 to 1. Is it clear? Now exit. Similarly, the other commands are also very easy. Right click, copy. Okay, since I didn't write any code and I executed, the other commands were gone. So let me write here and copy the same code here also. Okay, control C is for copy, control V is for paste. Now if you look into this screen, I am supposed to print even numbers from 2 to n. It means 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Here odd numbers, it means 1, 3, 5, 7. It should get printed like this. Okay, so let's go back and see how it works. Here it is printing from n to 1, but actually I have to start the counter from 2. I'll write 2 and here I should write n, and we know that the difference between two even numbers is always 2. After 2 I should get 4, then I should get 6. So instead of the step minus 1, I should write step 2. Here also odd number starts from 1, it should print till n, and instead of step minus 1 I will be writing 2. That's the only difference between this. Okay, now let's run it and see how it works. Check here, let me write 7. First command, printed from 1 to 7, sum is 28. Second command, it's a reverse, backward printing, 7 to 1, sum is 28. Even numbers, see between 1 and 7, there are only 3 even numbers, 2, 4 and 6, sum is 12. 6 plus 4, 10, plus 2, 12. Here, see 1 to 7 is getting printed. It's odd number, 1, 3, 5, 7, sum is 16. 7 plus 5, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So these 4 commands are quite similar. Now the next one is factorial. Now it's important for us to understand what is factorial. Now listen, when I say sum, I know that I have to add. Now factorial means multiply. That's the difference between addition and factorial. So if I say that I have to find the factorial of 5, it means I have to multiply all the numbers from 1 to 5. In factorial, I have to start multiplying from 1. So if I say I have to find out 10 factorial, it means I have to multiply from 1 to 10. Okay, so let me write the code for this. Again, I need 3 variables. I is my counter for the for loop. Sorry. I is my counter for the for loop. N is till what point I have to print. And let me take a variable f for factorial. Is it clear? Percent sign. Let's go back. Again, the value of n will come from val text1 text1. Again, the for loop has to go from I is equal to 1 to n. Okay, and factorial, I told you instead of addition I have to multiply. F is equal to f into I. Remember, this is I. F into I. Like for example, in sum I wrote sum is equal to sum plus 1. In factorial I have to write f is equal to f into I. Finish the loop. loop gets over with next I, and then I have to print the final value. I have to print what is the factorial of n. So I'll write factorial equal to semicolon f. Now will this program work? That we have to see. There is a small problem in this. Okay, but let's see if it works. Click it, and what is the result it is going to give. Let me put here 5 and I get the result as 0. Why? Now I wrote the entire program about factorial, why it's not working. Now listen children, I told you before that whenever I am declaring a variable, we put a value 0 by default. So the value of f is 0. So each time I is getting multiplied with f, which is 0, the final result is also coming as 0, because that's the rule of multiplication. Is it clear? So what we have to do is we have to initialize f is equal to 1. Is it clear? So this step is important. Without it, it will give you the result as 0, because by default f will always have a value 0. Is it clear? Now let me run this code. Now let's see, write 3. What is the factorial of 3? 1 into 2 into 3. 1 into 2 is 2, 2 into 3 is 6. So I got the result as 6. Is it clear? So if I write here 4, 6 into 4 is 24. Let me find the factorial. It's 24. 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 is 24. If I write 5 here, this came 2 times because I clicked it 2 by mistake. If I write here 5 factorial, 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 is actually 120. So this is how factorial works. Now there is one more problem which I want you to have a look. Now what happens if I put a bigger number? Let me see. If I put 10, the factorial, it's not coming, it's giving me an error called overflow. Children, this is because when I declare a variable as integer, the size is small. Last year, if you look into your VB book chapter 6, you will see the biggest number an integer variable can store. So there is a limit for that. So if you want to get a factorial of a bigger number, you should declare it as single. This you should declare it as single, right? The single data type which you learned last year. So let's go. Now this time if I try to find the factorial of 10, it will give me the result. So it's a big number, that's why integer could not hold it. Is it clear? So now let's go back. Now the last command that is left that we have to do is multiplication table. So let me bring command 6 here. Multiplication table. I is for, it's a counter for my loop, I percentage. N will give me the multiplication table of which number I have to find out. N will come from val text1. Write text1 here. Now let's go for, we know that in multiplication table we always find till 10. Okay, now just print n into I next I. Okay, now look here. Suppose the value of n is 5. This loop is going to run from 1 to 10. So it will print 5 into 1. Then it will print 5 into 2. Then it will print 5 into 3. So you'll get the entire multiplication table. Run it and see how it will come. Let me put here 7. See the multiplication table. 7, 14, 20. It's a multiplication table of 7. Okay, let me look here. The output that you got, is it in a different way? Okay, now if you look here the output, this shows the multiplication table of 7, but it comes like this: 7 into 1, 7 into 2. How can I bring something like this? So for that, let's go back, exit. Now look here, it's a multiplication table of n. Okay, so I'll write n here. When I want into sign in between, I because the value of I goes from 1 to 10, and after that I want an equal to. Okay, so let me put a semicolon in between, because we know that if you are going to print more than one value in print, each has to be separated by either a semicolon or a comma. Okay, so now let me run this, how it will come. I'm writing here 7. check, you'll get the multiplication table of 7. See, here n is 7, so this is n into 1. This is I. We know that I in multiplication table I goes from 1 to 10. So that's why it came like this and it printed the multiplication table of 7. Let's just go back to the code again. See, look here, n, if n is 7, this will come as 7. The symbol of x, I. See, each time the loop is running, the value of I is increasing. First it is 1, then 2, then 3. That's why it came like this. See, that's why it came like this, 7 into 1. The first value of I is 1, the second value of I is 2, the third value of I is 3. That's why it came till 10. Now, if instead of this 10, if I make it 20, see what it will print. Let's see. 7. See, we get a multiplication table which goes from 1 to 20. The 7, the multiplication table of 7, but it is showing values from 1 to for values from 1 to 20. Okay. Now, children, this is all about assignment number 1. Go through it, understand it, see the video more than once, and if there is any doubt, please revert back to me. Okay, I'm always there to help you out. And since the writing work was given last week, I expect everyone to click a picture of this assignment along with the for loop statement which I gave along with the syntax. Okay, you have to send me tomorrow itself. One more thing that I want to tell you, children, that syntax is a very important thing. It's a format of how to write the command. Okay, so look here, for, this is my for loop, this is my for loop. Variable is a counter, initial value to final value. See, 1 is the initial value, n is the final value, initial value to final value. And step size, steps is if it is size is more than 1 or it is negative, you have to write. Okay, remember, if the initial value is less than the final value, step is positive. If the initial value is more than the final value, then the step is going to be negative, right? So the syntax is important. Go through the entire thing and revert back to me if you have any doubt. And please send me the photo of your work in this phone number, or I will also send you my email ID. Find comfortable whether you can click a picture and send, or you can make a PDF and send me on my email ID. Thank you, children. This is for this week. God bless you. Have a nice week.